Christmas is coming. Don't click away. I know you're getting bombarded with Christmas adverts from Aldi, Asda, John Lewis, Boots, whoever it happens to be. But we're going to talk about business ideas here. We're going to put the recession away to one side. We're going to give out some good cheer and be able to get those business expenses through without the tax man saying, don't do that. Okay, so I have a confession to make before we get into the gifts and stuff. I hate Christmas. Sorry, I don't hate Christmas because hate's too strong an emotion. I dislike it greatly because it comes at the wrong point in my business cycle. So I'm really busy and everybody's telling me I have to be jolly and happy and restful and all of that stuff. And that doesn't work for me. But on the other hand, I do know that I've got to think about my suppliers, my customers, and most importantly, my employees to say thank you for supporting me this year. And there's some ideas that you could use. First thing to do is have a staff party. That's right, I did say have a staff party. You can spend up to 150 quid a year on a staff party. Well, your staff have worked for you really hard. They're your biggest asset, believe it or not. It's not your widgets. It's not your IP. It's not your ability to cut a video and send it out to somebody. Your staff are your biggest asset. If you don't reward them and don't give them something like a staff party, which they can have a £5 burger and £145 worth of alcohol, tax-free, by the way, just thought I'd get that one in there, then they might not like that. They probably won't care, but importantly, you're saying to them, look, we've had a hard year, let's go out and have some rest and some relaxation and enjoy ourselves, having some drinks and a bit of food. Second thing, you could give your staff a bonus. Now be careful with this one because a bonus, as you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, that's going to be tax and nationally insured. Or is it? If you give them 50 quid's worth of vouchers, as long as they're not transferable for cash and not food and drink, then that, and it doesn't relate to performance, is tax-free. It's tax-free in their hands and wholly deductible for you. Okay, 50 quid's not much, but on the other hand, it is saying, I appreciate what you've done, have a good Christmas, let's move on. Now this one's a bit left field, but we hear a lot about social responsibility and all of that stuff that goes with it, about we're part of society, our businesses are part of society, and do our businesses support that society or our local environment or whatever that happens to be? There's no reason why you can't give a donation to charity. And generally speaking, as long as it's not to a national charity, those donations are tax deductible. And again, it's Christmas, isn't it? It's going to give us a good feeling because we are putting money back in to a good cause, something that we believe in, something that we are passionate about, that is giving, I don't know, a tax deduction for the business, but also enabling that charity to go out and do what it needs to do for our local environment, for our local society. And that's got to be a good thing at Christmas. Okay, the easiest gift in the world that we all think about, first of all, is food and drink. And we go, right, okay, so I'm going to give somebody a bottle of wine because that's a good idea. You have to understand that anything that's about food and drink is not tax deductible. So that means at the end of the day, be that your self-assessment profit, be that your corporation tax profit, whatever it happens to be, those payments that go out for food and drink are not deductible against that tax. But it doesn't mean that the business can't pay for them. So from a cash flow point of view, you could just go, yeah, let the business pay for those food and drink gifts. There's no tax deductibility. Okay, but it's not affecting my personal cash flow. It's affecting the business's cash flow. And at the end of the day, maybe it's one pot, but on the other hand, you haven't got to take the money out of the business, put it into your personal name, and then go and buy the food and drink. Because that's going to involve tax for you, and therefore it then makes it not tax efficient to do that. So food and drink does work, but there's a tax consequence to doing so. Okay, finally, what about you? You're the business owner. You're the director. You're whatever it happens to be. You are the person that makes the business work. You're the person that takes all the responsibility. You're the person that at the end of the day, the buck stops with you and you make it all happen. Is there anything that you can do? Yes, there is, in fact. So you could use the £150 entertainment allowance. You could take your significant other out for a meal And you could do that via your business because it's just you that runs it. And yes, there's a tax deduction for doing that. That works. The other thing that you could do is you could potentially go to a well-known department store and get £300 worth of vouchers. And those vouchers are not transferable for cash. And you can then have those and spend it on yourself. And that's a tax deductible expense. And that was introduced about 3 years ago, but it's something that maybe we overlook, we don't think about, because we're concentrating on others at Christmas. But ultimately, there's also you that's been caught up in it. And if the business can reward, is maybe the wrong choice of words, but give something back to you, then why not? And it's tax deductible after all. So I've talked about giving things out for Christmas and the tax deductibility of those things. But against the wider economy, is that the right thing or not the right thing to do? So why not check out the video about the UK pound and where it's going to kind of weigh that up against the wider context. Keep watching for a link to that video.